It's probably a good thing. Hey guys, happy Monday. So I am super excited about the call today, right? Because here's the thing, and I'm hoping that everybody is like thinking about this. And actually in the very last sentence of the notes today, that were shared on the team page, let me tell you, I'm just going to read it. It says, every single person in the company doing the same thing, the exact same thing, creates massive power and growth. Okay. And I really want you to think about that, not just as a company, but as a team, right? When every single person is focused in on getting people on Thrive, right? Get people on Thrive, get people on Thrive. And we are getting samples out and we're all taking massive action. Of course, right now, people are taking massive action because if you had a PPA of 2 in the last 90 days, you got 4 samples to mail out, right? And here's the thing, guys. I know it said for the invite thing, I know that's for the US, but if you got your PPA, you still got those sample mail outs. So make sure you're checking in your cloud. I'm going to tell you, I had a bunch of people messaging me, and as I was sending out the invites, I was getting offer or the person, the email was ineligible and so forth. So it was slowing me down, and it kind of got a little bit overwhelming because I was like having to go back, try to figure out like, okay, wait, what's going on here? Well, here's the thing. The invite and sample part is you're inviting them to be a customer plus get a sample. Because originally it just said invite, to become a customer or whatever. But the thing is I'll tell you, I have found it easier to just send them my sample link, to request a sample, or you could get their name, email, phone number, and address, and then you could go ahead and send them the sample that way from the sample mail out. But you guys always make sure the person has an account. Now, I was a little bit confused because it used to be when they signed up for a sample, they automatically had a free account. And then I found a bunch of people that didn't have accounts. Well, there's a spot for them to actually click if they want to have a free customer profile, or they don't have to. Okay. So if you find that somebody does not create a profile with you, I would first off, I always tell people if they're going to get a sample, to create a customer profile, but I don't approve it for it to mail out. I did before when I didn't realize their accounts weren't actually being made. So that took a lot of extra work on my end to go back through and figure out who had accounts and who didn't. And you just kind of have to look and see, because it'll show you if they have one or they don't, right? If they converted over to a customer or they did not. But one of the things that you can do is you can ask each person that you're talking to. First off, I would watch, if you're sending samples to people, make sure that they're prepared to order, if they're like that they're actually wanting to order. They're not just trying to collect free stuff because you've got a free sample to give away. Always put some kind of value to that, right? So you want to make sure that they are creating their account. I always make sure the person knows that they have a referral link. I always make sure that if they seem to kind of like, yes, they want to get a sample or whatever, the easiest way that I have found is it okay if I go ahead and create your profile for you while we are doing this? And I'll also give you your personal referral link so that you can start earning freebies, right? That's just what I say. And it works for me. And I go ahead and I set up their profile, right? And I normally just use their first name and last name. And then I use the same password. And then I tell them, this is how you log on to your customer account. This is your referral link. This is, how your username, password, all of that. Please go in and edit, change your username if you'd like, change your password so that I don't have access to it anymore. Sometimes they want to keep the same username. Sometimes that's just fine. But you would prefer them to change their password, obviously, especially if I set it up. I don't want to know what their password is. So I always tell them to go ahead and change it. But that way you're guaranteeing that they have their customer account set up and you're going to be able to get back in touch with them. Now, also, this will give you a great time that you can ask them, do you prefer to be contacted on social media, email, or text? And you can literally just kind of keep track of that in your little, however you organize your customers. So you can create that communication right out of the gate. You can write down what day, if they decide that they're going to place an order once they get their sample, maybe the 25th of the month, or maybe the beginning of the month is really rough for them. So like hitting them up more in the middle of the month, they might not know the exact date. Write that stuff down. It's going to help you and it's going to be more beneficial. With these sample mail outs, you guys can also ask them if they have 2 friends that need more energy, are looking to feel better, that are maybe on a weight loss journey or a health and wellness journey. You guys, this is a great time to get those referrals. And this is work that you are literally like, basically it's other people's efforts, right? Paul used to always say that all the time. The best and the biggest way that you're going to grow is off of other people's efforts. So if somebody else, your customer, is doing referrals, they're going to get free samples, or they're going to get free customer accounts set up. If their friends order, you just grew your account because of them sharing, but they're also getting a reward out of it, right? And then the same thing can happen for those referrals can refer and so forth. So you can send any of those people samples as long as they have an account and it's set up in your organization. All right. So right now, the more people you can get on, starting on Thrive and getting people talking, it creates a massive wave. And we have Duo Elite coming here in probably 10 days. Like in 10 days, we're going to have that announcement and we're going to know so much more. But I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy if you do the prep work, and then it's going to propel you into the rest of summer. And you want to create that momentum going into the rest of summer. You want to create it going into the fall months, because that's going to be what is over the holidays. And then that's going to be what sets you up during the new year as well. So some of the things, I know Jackie has some stuff that she wants to add. Let me see if she's been able to pop on yet. Because like I said, she's been sitting in traffic. Hold on one second. I'm just looking through all of the names on here. So some of the things that I have been doing is basically that I've been reaching out to old customers. I'm hitting up those months. I'm hitting up those months that I know that Duo launched. And we actually, just in my memories yesterday, I had, and I probably have it in my memories today as well. Oh, wow. We had like a tag team sometime like a couple years ago on the right now. So like there's always something going on and they're going to propel us forward. What was it? 2017 is when Duo launched. So excited. Duo. Yep. So Duo we had just had like a pre-launch, a second pre-launch, I think, before the actual launch, because I was wearing it in that picture. You can't really see it in there. But anyways, if you create this excitement now and this stir now, you're going to have more people that are asking you about it. So I'm reaching out to people that have been on Classic. I want to introduce them to Elite. I also want to reach out to the people that were interested in Duo before. I had somebody, and if you have not made a post, you guys, about the company giving you these samples, I made a post today, this afternoon, of just me holding the 3 steps, and it was like actually the big packets, and about having these samples. I got not one single like, not one single comment. And this was Facebook. Okay. It was on Facebook. 58 minutes passed and I was doing stuff. I come back to the post. I still didn't have anybody commenting. Thought that was weird. I hadn't got a single message. Is that weird? I don't know. It wasn't getting pushed out. So I went back and I did the color blue behind it. And I just used in big text that I had some samples available. Guys, my face, like my messenger blew up and then I got some comments. Okay. And then I had some requests coming in. I had different messages that were hitting me and I actually got a text as well. And I was like, what the heck? Like, so basically what I'm telling you here is that if you posted something and it's not getting any traction, you don't have any likes, whatever, it's probably not getting pushed out by Facebook. You can leave that post or just make another post. I deleted it. I don't normally recommend deleting it, but if you ever have something and it seems like, that's weird, nobody's liked it, nobody's commented, nobody's asked anything, but like this post should be something that gets some attention and it doesn't, either choose to delete it and repost it, or like I said, I don't normally like to delete stuff, but there's a reason it just didn't get pushed out. And then the next post I made with just the writing got pushed out and I got a ton of people back. I am going to look at something before I say the next part of what I'm going to say. So I had a comment on my post. I didn't delete it. I left it from somebody that was a promoter that basically on my elite sample post that said, I didn't like it. That's okay, but don't do that. Don't do that to people. Don't do that to people. Like if you're a promoter, don't go to somebody else's page and like say stuff. Like you don't have to like everything, right? In fact, I very admittedly say I don't like stuff. However, I might say I'm a Black Label girl or whatever, but this is what it does for this person or something. There's no reason to really say that it doesn't. And then go on. And I replied back, I'm sorry, that was your experience, but everybody is different and everybody needs something different. But then this person said, well, if somebody has anxiety, I'd warn them not to use it. And I'm like, no, what are you doing? First off, if somebody has a medical condition, they probably should check and make sure it's even something that's okay for them. But actually, I have anxiety and I love Elite. It doesn't affect my anxiety at all. So like, I just want to caution you guys, like your words, like on your post, other people's posts and so forth, especially if you're like a promoter. And this just goes as a general rule of thumb, even on a friend's post that you have nothing to do with their business. If they sell something, like don't say bad stuff about the product, especially if you're a promoter of that product. You just don't do that. And you don't do it to somebody else's like post either. But I think it's important because when you speak out loud, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is because some of you guys sabotage yourselves. Some of you guys will sabotage yourselves in that kind of talking, right? And like I said, Elite is not going to be for everybody. And you want to know why? Because some people eat like shit. Okay. I'm just going to be honest with you. Some people eat like crap and they have zero interest in drinking water. They have zero interest in small meals. They have zero interest in higher protein. Okay. And you kind of need those things for your body to have fuel, for your metabolism to, start burning what it's supposed to burn. When I went on and I had my bariatric surgery, and I'm telling you this to educate you guys because I think it's super important us to match up the right things to the right people, right? So if you have somebody getting started and they want to lose weight, they want more energy, they want all of these things, make sure you're having the conversation of what they are doing besides going to take the product, right? What is their, like, are they following a certain dietary lifestyle? It doesn't have to be a diet per se, but like for me, I had to have, when I first started thriving, I made absolutely no changes to my diet. Okay. This was 2017 and I was 300 and I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about it. I was 300 and something pounds. Okay. Actually I was a little bit less than that. And then I ended up gaining weight. I did not lose at first. but I had energy and I was off the couch and I was moving and my focus was good, all of that, right? However, I was not eating less calories every day. I was not moving and exercising and going and working out a whole ton. So my weight loss journey was not like, I wasn't very intentional on my end, even though Thrive helped fill my nutritional gaps from the junk that I was eating, right? I was definitely not eating healthy and nutritious stuff all the time. I was not going to massively, lose weight. Okay. So it's very like, if somebody wants to do elite, it's important to know that elite helps to target metabolism, and actually fat, right? So you're going to notice like that stubborn lower belly fat that people talk about. Well, if you're eating a higher protein diet and you're eating smaller portions, your metabolism is going to shoot up. If you don't eat good and you're taking elite, you may be tired. You may feel like absolute crap. To be honest, you might just feel like crap because you just had a sugar coma, and so I want you to really think about like that when you're talking to your customer. If they want to lose weight, honestly, if they are changing their diet, then yes, absolutely, I'm going to recommend them to do elite. But I sometimes start people, you guys, off. I ask them, are you struggling with your appetite? And so on. But most importantly, I need to know like how they're eating if I'm going to recommend elite, or if I'm just going to say start with the normal 3 steps. Just for the simple fact that if somebody doesn't change certain stuff, they're not going to get the results that they are thinking that they're going to get, because they think just taking a pill, a shake, and sticking a sticker on is going to make them change what's on the scale, right? So it's just important to make sure you're having those conversations. And then yes, if somebody has no weight to lose or anything, like look at let's see, we have so many people that gained weight on Thrive because that's what they needed, right? They were severely underweight. I don't know if Ashley's on here tonight, but Ashley gained, I think she said 30 pounds. And she was severely underweight prior to starting. And that helped fill nutritional gaps, and it helped her actually start to put on the weight, right? Because her body felt better. It started being more receptive. But if somebody is, wanting to lose or they're wanting to gain, there's going to be other things outside of what the products are going to do. They're always going to help improve, right? So right now, what does anybody know what Duo really kind of targeted and what we talked about a lot with Duo? It was kind of similar, right? When we think about elite and then we think about Duo, elite really had kind of that same theory. Smaller, more frequent meals, higher protein. And then when we got burn, obviously, like because of ketones and so forth, smaller meals, higher protein, you're going to accelerate the burning, right, of fat. You're going to accelerate what is being, our fuel. Like that's going to become our fuel, what we're eating and so forth. And because the body needs to focus on, actually losing weight or whatever, make sure people are also measuring themselves. They're not just focusing on what the scale says, because you could be learning, oh, Jackie, I see you. You could actually be losing fat, gaining muscle, and the scale's not really fluctuating, and people get really, really sad about that, right? So the louder you can get about what is to come, really share the elite like stories that you have seen since the beginning of the year, the ultimate thriver pictures. Throw them in when you are talking about elite. Throw them in when you are talking about really any of the steps, because some people did switch it up, because people need to see the results, not just what we say it's going to do. Just like I said today, where I put up a picture and like people visually saw the products, and I said I had samples, I got nothing. It was like, hello, nobody's home, not even a view. But then I put up a totally nothing, just the color blue, because I know blue grabs attention, and wrote on it and said, I have some samples available if you've ever been curious about Thrive. and would like to try Elite, let me know. I've got this many samples. And then boom, I blew up with messages and comments. So if, you've got to imagine what makes you want to ask questions about the products. What makes you want to reach out to somebody that you see something and you want to buy it, right? So putting that stuff out there right now, utilizing, reaching out, having your customers share their results and share their products. Now, some of you guys are going to say, my customer will not do that. That's okay. Move on to the next customer. Move on to the next customer. Or you can ask them if you would be allowed to share their results and tag them, or if you would be allowed to share their results even. And I'm fine with actually, like, if I listen, I'll help somebody all day long get referrals. If I post somebody's testimony and they're a customer of mine and I get a bunch of results from that, I'm going to go ahead and let them sign up, the referrals or whatever. Because I shared the post, I'm the one who put it up there. I'm going to go ahead and let them under my customer. I'm going to sign them up as referrals if they're customers, right? If we know each other, like obviously they know both of us or whatever. I'm going to have them. And sometimes I'll just let the customer sign up under them anyways, because they let me do it. They let me share their results. And that's a very personal thing, and tag them so that people see that, oh, this is a real person. It's not just a random person out there that I just made up. Jackie, I know that you had a lot of things that you wanted to say too. I just want to say a couple of things before I get off track anymore. They said they want, okay, so 60,000 samples is how many they want to go out. That's a lot. Okay. That's a lot of samples to get out. We know the statistics of how much has been sold and so forth, but customer wise, you guys, having over 10 million customers, all right, worldwide, and then them saying, what was it, 30,000 customers last month? Is that what it was? Yeah. 30,000 new accounts last month. Okay. So every single person on here right now, if you are intentional about selling samples because you got the 4 free samples today, I want to tell you something. Actually, if you got a sample out today, I want you to put a 1 over here in the comment. And you don't have to put how many, but I'm gonna do my flex real quick. I'll put how many I put on there. I'll add it so far today. Okay. Go ahead. I want to hear everybody that got a sample out today. Going out tomorrow. That's good. Okay. How many did you get out yesterday? I want to know how many samples everybody got out yesterday. Mm-hmm. I want you to think about that. How many samples, Friday you got out. Anyways, my whole point, we could go back every day. My whole point is you got samples out because you were intentional with it, right? So what if you were intentional with getting 10 free accounts today? What if you were intentional of getting, for the remainder of the month, you were intentional with getting, say, 2 samples out a day for the remainder of the month. Today's the 12th, so we've got 18 days left in the month, right? 18 days left in the month. If you got 2 samples out a day, okay, for the remainder of the month, you'd have 36 samples going out by the end of the month. Even if you focus on getting 2 customer accounts every day for the rest of the month, you would have 36 new customers by the end of the month. Okay. I want you guys to think about that. I'm going to shut up for just a minute because Jackie knows I'll just keep on going on this subject. If you went to try to get promoters, following up intentionally with promoters, intentionally with customers, actually signing them, closing it, you are statistically proven you will sign more. You will Like whatever you are putting out there, you guys, is what you're going to get. Okay. So if you are focused on getting new customers, if you are focused on getting new promoters, and you are literally doing the actions, reaching out, following up, posting stuff that has something that's going to draw them in, let them know the benefits, you will get them. You will get more customers. You will get more people. Just like if you're trying to go VIP 400, VIP 800, VIP 1600, whatever it is, you're being intentional with your actions, right? So, all right, Jackie, I'm shutting up so you can speak what you were going to talk about real quick.
Well, I hopped in when you were talking about someone negative on a post, and oh my God, you are so nice, Amanda. If it were me, I would probably screenshot that person's comment. I would probably send it to their upline or whoever I know their upline support is, and I would say, hey, come get your promoter. Okay, like you are so nice, Amanda. I would not check that person myself because I would just be like, okay, you know what, this person obviously did not have a good experience and has not been trained, you know,
Did you
properly.
read it?
I would. No, I didn't. Did I?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you read my post or not, if you actually read it.
No. But
Oh.
if I were to see who that was, I would definitely just screenshot it, send it to their upline, and just be like, you need to come get this person because this is ridiculous. Because obviously they weren't trained, right? And big thing, you guys, like what Amanda was saying, etiquette is so important in this business, and not a lot of people have it, right? It's kind of like having a disobedient child that is acting up in person and in public and that kind of thing, right? So I know a lot of you guys are parents on here, and you guys can probably relate. And if you guys are not parents, you guys know of children who kind of get on people's nerves. But you are so nice, Amanda. I would not tolerate that. I'd be like, come get this person. But yeah, anyways, today, okay, I was getting my lashes done with my earbuds on, listening to the call. And of course, I'm like waiting for this announcement because I know that they did a PPA thing like a couple of months ago. And I'm like, what was it that they did, right? Couldn't really think of it. So it's here and I love it, right? Like they actually deployed a brand new system for us to use, which is amazing, right? Hold on 1 second. My son's about to hop back in the car. But with basically, it's like, hey, if you had 2 PPA, right, they're giving you 4 free samples. And the easiest thing for you to do is just take that 2 PPA that you have. Like if you're somebody like, hey, I don't know who else I'm going to get on Thrive, like who's going to want these samples, give it to your brand new person and help them thrive for free, right? That's like probably one of the easiest ways that you guys can use these samples, right? Like if you guys got the 2 PPA, okay? I heard Jason saying I think that if you guys don't have 2 PPA yet, I think that if you guys do get it, you might get those credits loaded, right? So, you know what, now that I think about it, I think it was sample credits that they dropped into our accounts like a few months ago. I remember getting like 6, and then if we use them, we use them. If we didn't, they would expire. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that is the strategy that I'm going with. I'm actually like, I do have 2 PPA. I can offer it to them. If I don't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all of my customers who have ordered in the past like 30, 60, or 90 days. And I'm going to see like who there is on the elite experience and who might want to share the elite experience, right? I always like to think of my 30, 60, 90 day PPA as kind of like my hot zone, right? Like that's kind of like my hot leads. They're still, thriving. They're still savable, right? Even if they are kind of like not having the best experience, I can still go in there and save them, right? Another thing is like, kind of like what Amanda was saying earlier with the like knowing what product to put them on. If you guys, I'm sure it's in the Dream Team training page. I have this script that I've been using since the beginning of time that makes it really, really easy for me. I don't like small talk, you guys. I like to get straight to the point, but I also like to be really personable to the person, right? I don't want to just continue asking them what their goals are and like really, really digging down and like, you know what I mean? I want to be a real person, right? So I have this little script. If you guys have seen it, it's like a little block of what's your name, what's your phone number, and like what are your goals, right? I love the invitation part because now it's just for me, I'm just going to be like, what is your phone number? I'm going to send them the invitation. And then like the invitation for like whatever they're doing, getting the free account, getting the sample, getting the credits, or whatever that looks like, right? But I still like to know their goals because their month, right? If they decide to say yes to the Thrive experience, right? I want to see in that month, what DFT am I going to recommend for them? And then like kind of like what Amanda was saying, like she wants to know how they eat. She wants to know their lifestyle, because I know if somebody is really struggling with the way that they eat, like they like to eat a lot of junk food, you know, it happens, right? I'm not going to put them on Burn. I'm not going to put them on Elite. I'm not going to put them on any of those. I'll probably put them on one of the other classic experience packages. More than likely, I'll put them on Ultra, because Ultra is going to put like a, you know, like a pin right on their stomach, and they're just going to be like, I'm not hungry. I can't eat, right? But you know, these are not magic pills and products, you guys. They have to build like the lifestyle. Their lifestyle has to start aligning with what they want these products to do, right? Because if not, like you can, like the more you give your body sugar, the more your body craves sugar, right? It doesn't matter what kind of things you put onto your body or whatever. These are just tools, okay? So really, really important for people to know that. That's why it's so important to follow up with your customers and really stay on top of them, because you know, like, how's your eating? Like, how have you been today? Like, you know, little things like that, and making sure that they're comfortable speaking to you, right? If you're hounding them and you're kind of like, you know, beating them up, and you're making them feel bad about what they're doing, they're not going to want to thrive, right? So that's something that's really, really important, mindful to do. Like, make sure that you're not coming off as that nagging person to your customer, because they're not going to want to thrive with you, right? You're going to make them feel like crap, right? Because they're like, I'm not eating the best, you know, I know that I can't do this, like, you know what I mean? So make sure that you guys are mindful of that. I see you, Amanda, you're nodding.
Yeah, I want to butt in there, just because as somebody that struggled with my weight so much, there's a lot of shame associated with it. So like when you fall off track with your diet or your eating or whatever, and you know, accountability wise, that you're not doing the greatest, you're already beating yourself up. The last thing you want to do is tell somebody that. A lot of times you don't. I mean, yes, you want to hold yourself accountable, but a lot of times even the person is trying to help you, but the way you approach it, and I guess that's where I'm coming in at from Jackie's point, like where she's talking about, like, you know, you're a real person, you want to help somebody, you want to help them get the best thing, you want to make sure that, you know, you're not shaming them, obviously making them feel bad, like, oh, you're just doing it, like basically everything you're doing is wrong, right? Well, the reality of it is they probably are struggling to figure out what is right, like what is going to work for their body. And you are not a miracle worker, you're not a doctor, you're not a nurse, you're not a dietitian. I mean, some of you guys might be, but I'm a nurse, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now that everybody and everybody is different, okay? And we have different health things that we challenge with. We have different habits that we challenge, different food culturally that we eat, you know, different ways that we were raised, right? Some people were raised with, oh God, I'm going to say this, nobody get offended, but like Crisco. Ooh, like the big globs of Crisco. And I'm like, oh gosh, you can't even think about that. But then some of you guys were raised with the bacon grease sitting on the stove, right? I know my grandma used to make that all the time, and everybody called her, like, her food was like killer gravy, because you could just see the layer of like stuff on that. Anyways, I'm a West Virginia girl, so it's definitely like biscuits and gravy type stuff here, you know. But no, for real. And that's where it's like, okay, like, how can we help educate people about the products and what they're taking? Because, you know, somebody will say, how many of you guys have said, how long do I have to take this? How long do I have to take this? Good question. Here's what I'm going to tell you about that. How long do you want to feel better and fill your nutritional gaps for? The reality of it is our bodies do not get the things that it needs every day, day in, day out. No matter how good you eat, chances are you are not getting everything that you need, right? So that is where step one, right? Our capsules come in. Everybody needs a multivitamin. Really, they do. The way that why ours versus somebody else's, ours is higher bioavailability. If you don't know what that word means, you can Google it. But also, I'm just going to tell you, it's the way that it is actually absorbed into our system. And that means that you're going to get more of the vitamin that you are taking in. The reason why people can take it, and we suggest taking it on an empty stomach, is because we want that to be the first thing, right? That's kind of like our wake up. That's what helps us get up and go. And if you notice you take it on an empty stomach, you really do in 20 or so minutes. Oh, you're feeling more awake. You're getting up. You're moving around, right? And that's because you didn't have something coated in your stomach already that's blocking that absorption. Okay. So you're actually taking it in. However, it also doesn't make you nauseated because it's in a capsule and it's not all getting dosed up into one shot, right? It's going to be throughout the day. So you're going to have more absorption, but it's slower, so it goes throughout your system. The lifestyle mix, why do we take it 20 or 30 minutes? Well, that's so our capsules have a moment to actually get into our systems, right? Getting into our systems and then taking something that has a higher protein and has different nutritional values, that's going to help. And actually our shakes, they used to only be 15 grams of protein, but now I think most of them are 18, 18. So I think technically it's still on the low side to be considered a meal replacement, but you could throw something in it to actually up the protein in it if you want. For me, I actually don't. I sometimes do. You guys know I do mix it sometimes with Premier. I actually found I don't like Elite mixed with anything but water. It gets too thick and I'm just not a fan. I prefer the Elite mixed with water. And then I have something small, to kind of fill me up and that's going to last me throughout until I'm for my next meal. But the DFT is applied to our skin, obviously, so that the absorption is throughout the day. Jason will tell you, obviously, you're going to have, the longer you have it on, the better, the more you're actually going to get and absorb. But in all actuality, I'd say effectiveness of it as it goes on throughout the day is less and less and less, right? But you're going to want to keep it on as long as you can. I normally take mine off when I shower in the evening times, and then I apply, my other DFTs that I wear at night, right? Like Recharge and the HDS. I'll just swap out what I'm wearing. And sometimes the HDS I don't take off first thing in the morning. I wear it for a while. So, but anyways, the whole reason I'm telling you this is that people, if they tell you they get up and they like eat a big breakfast or something, you want to make sure you elaborate to them. They're going to have better results with their Thrive if they take their capsules before they eat. Because a lot of people will put their capsules right on, like any medicine they got to take, right? And I'm saying medicine for a reason, because people take medicines in the morning, especially people that are over 25 and older, right? Really, maybe I hit that number. I don't know. But anyways, the older you get, the more stuff you end up taking most time. And they take it with their breakfast because they get nauseous on the empty stomach. All right. Stress to them that if they take these capsules, all right, and if they're nervous, have them start with one, you guys. Have them start with one so that they see they're not going to get sick on it. I get sick on multivitamins. Like I couldn't even take them during my pregnancy. I had to take Flintstones, and I absolutely could not have taken them on an empty stomach at all. All right, at all. So make sure they understand the importance of taking that, because that is one, if they do it, they're going to feel better and they're going to notice. It's going to be more effective for them. Preferably have them put it on their bedstand and have them take it first thing. Find out how big, like what they really eat for breakfast. Find out the kind of meals that they eat. Find out if they need help in that department, right? And even though you're not an expert, you can still come and ask somebody else and get recommendations. Or you can go in and, like, if you go to our cloud or you go to the Thrive Connect app, there's food list and recommendations of how. And actually in the Thrive Connect app, for like the elite experience and then for the classic experience, it's like there's actually like a commitment. I'm committing to drink my water, walk or do stuff, right? Follow certain stuff, because we want to make sure that people are understanding the importance of what you're putting into your body. And if you don't take like if you're not getting what your body needs, you guys, you're going to feel worse. Like somebody the other day, I just was explaining about, it was my stepfather. His magnesium was very low. He was having weakness in his legs. He was very tired. He was actually having some confusion. There were some other reasons for this, but I told my mom, I said, he needs some magnesium. And she was like, well, they did give him a bag of it at the hospital. And I said, I know, but he needs some Magox that he needs to take on a daily basis. And she was like, wait a second, that can affect your nerves, weakness, being tired. Absolutely. Just like if people crave sweets, they crave salty stuff. There's great, just taking a bite of dark chocolate is going to help with your magnesium, eating a banana and so forth. So having that healthy relationship, people need to know these things. And like right now, coming into Duo Elite, you guys, what are people doing this summer? It's summertime. People are outside, they're wearing shorts, they are swimming, they are women, especially, and I'm going to say women, but I'm going to say guys too, because I know an awful lot of guys that don't like to take their shirt off at the pool. They don't want to feel exposed, okay? Because they're self-conscious too. Just because they're guys doesn't mean they're not self-conscious about their bodies, right? So they want to be healthier. Duo is proven and seen that we have seen some incredible results. So how can we help this person actually get the results that they're telling us? And like Jackie was saying, I'm gonna shut up again because I'm rambling, because this is a hot topic. Because I noticed when I started eating smaller meals, because I had my stomach cut out. I had to start eating higher proteins. Guess what finally started disappearing on me that I swore was never going to disappear? My lower belly. That is targeted by, obviously lower belly fat is the hardest to target. Go on a liver cleanse, a detox, our detox. That's a great one to introduce to everybody right now, right? Detox, then change up your diet after you're finished with your detox and you go back into like starting to pick up regular habits of foods and things like that. And I say regular habits, but trying to get in a new habit of how you're going to feed your body and fuel your body. Watch what happens when you eat smaller meals and higher protein. That's why intermittent fasting, you notice lower belly fat starts to deplenish. Somebody that's on a liver shrinking diet, they're going to start seeing in their lower belly where that is starting to get finished. In their face, you're going to notice just the swelling and so forth. You're just going to start to notice less bloat, right? Going to start noticing areas that have been a struggle. And that's just like, I'm not going to claim that it decreases cellulite, any of our products. No, your diet, okay, has a huge part of that. A lot of that, right? It's going to definitely be shaped and changed. So right now, people want results and people want to know how to get those results. And you have huge solutions for those people. These products are going to help curb your appetite if taken right. These products are going to help speed up your metabolism if taken right, and eating right, and hydrating and giving your body what it needs. So if you're finding out, Jackie said her list, I always do this, you guys. I always find out, what are people's top 3 things they want to accomplish, right? With doing Thrive. One of those might be weight loss, one might be energy, one might be sleep. Anyways, that's how I kind of target the products that I'm going to work with, what they are currently doing and what they plan on changing once they start, because people don't normally stick to the same, like they have intentions. And week 1 might be great and then they fall back in old habits, right? If somebody they're on a very, very tight budget and they cannot get started on all the products, find like 3 things, like a good, better, and best. We've talked about that before, that will work with them to help them hit each one of those things. So there might be one product that kind of targets everything they listed. I always go with the women's capsules. That's always my number 1. And then I kind of go from there. I build off of that. Every now and again, if somebody's not in there, I'll do balance or something like that. But I don't normally like to start with just one singular product unless it's the women's capsules. But a good, better, and best. And your goal is to give them their personal referral link. That personal referral link, you guys, is gold right now. I want to say this last thing. I'm going to shut up again because I'll keep on talking. Go not only to your PPA over the last 30, 60, 90 days, go to your actual My Customers under your team, My Customers, right? Hit the last order button at the very top and let it categorize when the people last ordered, right? So it might have been this month, might have been last month, might have been April, whatever it may be, okay? Reach out to those people. They obviously had just been ordering, right? They've just been ordering in the last 3 months. You could even go back further since the beginning of the year, last year, whatever. Go through those people, see how they're feeling, see if they still have products, see if they, are going to be interested in Elite, like, or Duo. See, make sure they know that it is coming. And you can even, you don't know the definite thing of it, but you could definitely go pull up Duo PDF and the Elite PDF. And you could share, this is what these two are, and it's going to be these two, and obviously supercharged because they're not, it's going to be like basically a combination of those two, but better. But you can kind of let them know, like, this is what's coming, and these are the kind of results. You can share the Ultimate Thriver pictures. You can even go even further and dig up and go on Lavelle's fan page and look at some of the Duo result pictures that came out back then. And you can kind of show people like what that was all about, and then making sure that they know that you are going to be there, right? So if they post, like Jackie was saying, you can have them use those samples to send to their referrals, right? These people that just ordered in the last couple months that are interested and wanting to still go. And you want to reward the people, you guys, that are actually place the orders first. Because those people are more likely to actually place the orders again and refer you people that are going to place orders. And the reason why I say that is because if they placed orders, their friends are more likely to place orders too. If they signed up for free and wanted something for free, their friends are going to want to sign up for free and want something for free too. You see how that kind of goes together. I hope that all makes sense. And I could go on about this, but the last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to check, I promise I'm going to shut. If you have promoters on your team that are no longer active, reach out to their customers if they're still ordering. If they're like they've ordered in the last year, like in the last whatever, however long those people have been active, those are still your customers. Okay. So if their promoter left, and you can see some of the information of how to reach out to them. But if you have a question and you want to reach out to support and ask them how you can better contact these people, right? If you have a lot of people that you need to reach out to and you are not sure how to contact them, you can't find their names, or you just don't know them because maybe you didn't even know the promoter, but you still want to help and give good customer support to the people that are ordering, that is help building your organization and your paycheck. So don't be afraid to ask support for help of how to get, like, how can you contact these people, right? I can contact them. Jackie, you got any other things? I know I've got a couple other things to say, but I'm going to shut up for just a second because I'm going 100 miles per hour.
I mean, I think those are all great tips just for people to start working with. Just kind of like start with your PPA, do the 30, 60, 90, go to the last orders and see who's last ordered in a bit. And something else that I noticed too is, like, I still have a ton of customers who are on the classic experience, have not asked me about Elite. Like they they just love their experience. They don't want to change it, because I have customers who've been ordering for years and they just love their Burn Duo. They just love the shake that they're getting. They haven't changed it. Their auto ship stays, right? So reach out to some of those people and just be like, hey, I want to send you a sample because you've just been such a great customer, and I know that you love your experience, and, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like going to your favorite restaurant and you go and you order the same thing every single time because that's what you're craving and what you want to have, right? I have customers who I'm going to reach out to, and if you guys got credits those sample credits, don't stop and just say, I don't have anyone. Okay. Like if you catch yourself saying, I don't have anyone, I want you guys to check yourself right now. Okay. Because you might not have anyone, but who does your customer have? Right? Who does your customer have? Who does your team have? Like there's got to be someone somewhere. Like it's only 4 credits. You can definitely find 4 people somewhere who can experience the elite experience, right? And yeah, I mean, there were some other things earlier in the call. I'm just going to be completely real and transparent with you guys. I hate that they want to call it weight loss for everything. Because for me, like it's so much deeper than weight loss. You know what I mean? It's like body composition and like changing your body in a way that is going to be better for you in the long run, right? It's not just weight loss. That's why whenever I have customers or even promoters or people, I get a lot of people who tell me elite didn't work for me, and I just stopped. I'm like, well, how long did you do it for? That's the first thing I'll ask them, right? Because if they've done it for like 90 days and they've given it a fair shot, and I'm like, okay, well, what were you doing? Did you change your lifestyle in that 90 days? A lot of them will say, well, no, I didn't, because it was just too hard and I couldn't. I'm like, okay, well, there you go. It's there. It's that right there. However, did you see the ultimate driver transformation? I've never seen so many 90-day transformations, like where people's like tummies are gone, right? I've never seen so many. 5 years in this, like, business and industry, and, watching all these transformations and helping a bunch of people, even ones myself, right? I've never seen so many. So I know for a fact that these products work, but you do have to work with it, right? A lot of the time that people would say, oh, but it's really how they feel, right? They experience, which is like cool, like that's fine and that's great. But elite is really something that if you put if you really committed to it, it can really, really transform your body into something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it really can. And that's what's crazy about it. And all you got to do, guys, is look at these pictures and look at even last year's Ultimate Thriver. And it doesn't matter. Like literally you can see where it is targeting, especially in the stomach area. And that's always been like my worst area. So I notice it probably even more on other people too, right? But it's like amazingly different that you're seeing it. So that's actually, being consistent with it. But I'm going to tell you this too. I signed a customer earlier this week that was a customer prior. She hasn't ordered since 2020. Okay. And so she ordered this week, and her first message to me, I was actually mixing up my lifestyle mix in my stories. And I'll tell you guys, if you're not talking in your stories and you're just posting pictures, I highly suggest you start talking in your stories, because people want and are going to pay more attention to you than what they ever will to a picture. All right. Like, and I'm true testament of that. I couldn't even tell you what people put in their stories. But if I see their face, I'm more likely to click on, just because I'm nosy and I want to hear what they have to say or see what they're up to and doing. Right. So anyways, this customer, she reached out to me the other day and asked me if we had any plant-based shakes and, so forth. Anyways, I was able to introduce her. She ended up ordering capsules, one of our vegan, I'm not sure which flavor, and then Black Label. So she did not want to do elite, but she ended up doing, she ended up ordering the vegan shakes or the vegan lifestyle mix, and getting the capsules and the Black Label because she had put on some extra weight and she wanted. So anyways, that was all stemmed from me mixing up my lifestyle mix that morning, because she replied on that. Right? She replied on that and said, do you have any plant-based shakes? So if you're not doing talking in stories, do it. Okay. Do it. Don't be afraid to let people know what you have your hands on. Don't be afraid to say that you have samples, or if you have credits, or you want to help 2 people get some products for free this month. Don't be afraid to say those things, because what you say is what you're going to get. And then also as a promoter, don't be afraid to talk about being a promoter and what you're wanting to help somebody hit. Like even pull out Jackie, I know it's on our team page still. Jackie had shared her VIP 400, VIP 800, VIP 1600 little cheat sheet things that she has on there with like some things that she goes over, and it helps somebody kind of stay focused on what they can do, getting started to go for those VIP bonuses, and so forth, right? And if you just go over to the Dream Team page, you'll find it by searching Jackie. But if you put something like that where you're holding it and say, I want to put your name on this and help you earn these bonuses, it becomes more real to that person, right? And you're talking. You can even just print off a copy of it, or you can print off a picture just from our cloud office. And, you'll be like, oh, this has your name on it. And I mean, what would you do? What would you do if you had, an extra $200 by Tuesday? What would you do with an extra $1,000 by Tuesday? How would that help you have a better week next week? Like, what bills would you pay? If you say these conversations, people are going to reply, even if they weren't necessarily first interested in the business. Now it's becoming real, right? Now it's becoming real because you basically just told them, I want to help you get this money. Like, now they're like, oh, well, if I could pay my water bill next week, then I wouldn't, maybe I won't get it shut off. Or if I could pay groceries, because man, kids are home now, so they are eating up your house. And so if they were able to help them, have an extra couple $100s for groceries next week, then they wouldn't have to stress about how they were going to put gas in their car, how they were going to buy food, and so on, right? So switch up. If what you're doing right now is not working, and first off, just get consistent with some of this stuff, you guys. Be intentional, just like I mentioned about how many samples did you get out yesterday? How many did you get out today? That's from being intentional. I'm not saying you got to do this every single day, but maybe find one area of your business, samples, really following up with trying to sign customers, helping your customers get referrals. Even if you just focused on one area every single day, switch back and forth from customer promoter. I normally hit a little of everything, but get intentional with what it is that you're trying to accomplish before you close it off, right? Before the night's over. The next 18 days, it's up to where you to create that momentum. Your team, your customers, your future team, your future customers, they're all going based off of your mode. They're going off of your lead. Okay. They're going off of your lead. So how you lead that doesn't matter. It does not matter if you have one person or you have 200 million people. Okay. How you lead that going in through the rest of the month is going to determine how your month is going to end. Okay. And I'm not saying that means, oh yeah, you're doing everything you can and you still might fall short. That's okay. You're a hell of a lot further than where you were. And it's going to continue to build. And the quality of the people that join you and the quality of customer care that you're able to give and more customers you get is just going to grow. So eventually that's going to be huge, right? It's going to be huge. And just remember, like, you can't control the yes or the no from somebody, but you can control what you do after you get the yes or the no. You could either let it stop you, or you say, okay, somebody doesn't want something right now, and that's right. Let me know if you change your mind, and I'm here to help you. Doesn't mean you can't follow up with them and say, hey, this made me think of you when you reached out to me about this, or just following up with them because it's their birthday and saying, happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing weekend or great day, whatever. It doesn't always have to be about Thrive. Still follow up with people that you've heard no's from, and follow up, meaning you're not getting in their inbox and when are you going to order from me? Like, I've actually gotten messages like that before. So that's the only reason I'm so straightforward. I'm straightforward where Jackie said she's straightforward. I'm straightforward too, but I'm not freaking stupid. And I'm sorry. Please, nobody, I hope I didn't call somebody stupid just now. Don't do that. Talk to people like you would want to be talked to. Be respectful if somebody tells you they're not in a position or they don't want to order right now. That's okay. You're not necessarily following up with them about that. You're just following up with them to check up in on them because you're building your relationship. And then eventually, if you guys are talking, you absolutely could say, hey, if you're ever interested, don't forget, I'm here. if you ever decide, and I always mention what they said that was their goal to go towards this, or, you still want to try to get more energy or whatever, that I'm still here when you're ready. I'm not going anywhere.
Before we hop off, I want to just give you guys a couple of like action tips and stuff, because there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm getting ghosted, or people are like complaining about the price, or summer's happening, right? I actually made a reel, basically talking to the parents, like, hey, are your kids home for the summer? Like, I know what it's like. Your dishes are going to start piling up. Like, DoorDash is going to start going up. You guys are going to be really busy, because it's trying to keep the kids busy, right? While trying to stay sane and having energy. So I made a reel about that. Just to kind of like, cause that's, you got to get that down to the root cause of like why people are not ordering, right? That's one of them that's coming up for summer, right? Another thing, like root causes of things. Speaking of it, right? How many of you guys have customers who have quit because they maybe have certain hormonal issues, right? They're saying like, oh, I'm taking certain medications for this, and like, maybe that's why I'm not losing weight. You guys can definitely use HDS to get into get some of those customers back, right? I had a lot of customers that were like, hey, I'm not losing weight because I have to take my, a certain type of medication. And I'm telling them, I'm like, hey, I'm not sure if this is going to work for you, but this is supposed to help balance out your hormones. Like, would you be willing to try it? They're like, yes, I'm willing to try it, because they're stuck on medications for like, to regulate their hormones and stuff, right? If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's the hypo and hyper things. So I'm just telling them, I don't know if this is going to work for you, but it's worth a shot, right? It literally just came out. Try your best to take it every single day and just see what happens, right? If you miss a couple days, it's cool, right? Just hop back on it. So that's been bringing back a lot of people for me, because it's getting down to the root cause of things, right? If you guys really understand what HDS is supposed to do, which is to balance women's hormones, we're talking about that lower belly fat, estrogen. If you guys go on my Instagram, I actually made a reel too, which was saying like, hey, what you guys might think is genetics could be hormonal, and I'm talking about HDS, right? So go on that reel, go listen to it. It'll help educate even, you guys, if you guys are not really sure like what HDS is. Like, yeah, when we think of HDS, we're thinking about like periods and menopause and all these things, but what are the things that are uncomfortable about that, right? It's the extra weight gain, it's the feeling tired, it's the feeling cranky. I don't know about you guys, I've been taking HDS, I have not been as cranky, which is kind of crazy.
Nope, I haven't been as clotty either. I know that's like a little personal there, but I haven't had as bad of cramps or anything at all. Like, nowhere near where I was. And this is what, month 2 now, and like I'm talking not as fluctuation in mood, not as much, like I'm not getting as much cramping, and I'm definitely not getting as much clotting, because cramping and clotting kind of go side by side, right? But I definitely, and my skin now, obviously I'm using our skincare too, but my skin has not been as crazy. So that's all like associated. So basically what Jack just said is talk to people directly about what these obstacles are right now, with kids being home, the hormonal stuff, and, talk to people like you're talking to one specific person. Like every time you do it, guys, talk like you are talking directly to somebody. And I promise you, you're going to start getting results, because somebody's going to message you and say, how did you know? I felt like you were talking directly to me. Like, I promise you.
You know what, Amanda, I know they didn't market it this way, but I honestly believe that if somebody takes HDS and they're having like really good results with it, I think that they will start to lose weight, because just like, the stress factor and like some of these things, right? And just like the hormonal things. And I think that it will help with that. I honestly do, but it's still so early, right? In the product, that like, it's kind of hard to tell, but I do think that it'll help with that. So I mean, if you guys have someone who's struggled and they're saying like, oh, I've got this going on and that going on, and I tried Thrive before, it didn't work for me. All right, try to get down to the root cause of some of these things, right? Yep. Like scale it back a little bit. Maybe you need detox, right? Maybe try HDS and then see where it goes from there. I'm literally doing that with a customer now who like didn't stay on the Thrive experience prior, because it just, you know what I mean? We can't control some other stress factors, stuff that's happening around them, or how they handle stress. But yeah.
Yep. Nope. That's golden. And I'll tell you, don't hang up. I'm gonna say this. I just don't want to say it on recording. So I'm gonna stop the recording real quick.